Now we are going towards a waldeyer ring. What is waldeyer ring? Basically, it is present in a pharyngeal area, means in a pharynx. Pharyngeal area means pharynx. So waldeyer ring is present in a pharyngeal area, and it contains four different tonsils. Four different tonsils. Now, what are tonsils? Tonsils are basically a masses, oval or a circular masses. These are basically the shape oval or a circular masses of the lymphatic tissues. These are called tonsils. Tonsils are basically a masses of a lymphatic tissues. We know that lymphatic tissues produce lymph, and lymph there is a white blood cell in a high amount, and white blood cells are known as lymphocytes. What is the work of white blood cells? Their work is to protect, for the protection from the pathogen. That if any pathogen comes, they make antibodies against that pathogen. So ultimately the work or the function of tonsils is to for the protection of or from the pathogens or the bacteria. So there are four different types of pathogens. And if the tonsils, one more thing, that if the tonsils like swell or it get infected, the tonsils get infected or it gets swells, means it's that is known, that disease will be known as tonsillitis. Generally we called as tonsils, but it is tonsillitis. Now we'll be talking about the four different tonsils. What are the four different tonsils? For example, that is a waldeyer ring. Now this whole is a waldeyer ring. Now these are basically the eustachian tube. That is the right eustachian tube of the ear, and that is the left eustachian tube of the ear. Now there are the tonsils. The tonsils are present here. That is a one tonsil that is in a pair form. That tonsil is known as tuber tonsils. Remember that tuber tonsils are in paired form, not in unpaired form. So these tonsils will be called as one tonsil. Now that is present, tuber tonsils are basically present superiorly, but in the lateral side of the eustachian tube, but superiorly. Now it is present in a pairs. Now the another tonsils that are present in the inferior or the basal side of eustachian tube, but on the lateral side. Inferior, or we can say basal side of the eustachian tube, but in the lateral side, and these both are also in the pairs, and these are known as palatine tonsils. These both are also in the pairs. Now these are two tonsils, one is tuber tonsil, second is palatine tonsil, both are in pairs. Now the third tonsil will be here. That this tonsil is basically, that is known as pharyngeal tonsil. Pharyngeal tonsil is also known as arynoid tonsil. It is also known as arynoid tonsil, and it is not in the pair, it is unpaired, but it is present superiorly of the eustachian tube. Now another last one tonsil we are having, that is a lingual tonsil. Lingual tonsil is also in unpaired form, and it is present in the basal part, in the basal side of the ring, that is known as lingual tonsil. So there are four tonsils. One is tuber tonsil, that is in pair. Second is palatine tonsil, that is in pair. Third is pharyngeal tonsil, that is present superiorly of the ring, but that are unpaired, and that is also known as arachnoid tonsils, and that is a lingual tonsil that is present in the basal part of the ring, and that is unpaired. Now, where these all tonsils are present, if we talk about the pharyngeal tonsils as well as tuber tonsil, pharyngeal as well as tuber, both tonsils are both opens into a nasopharynx. Pharynx have three types: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. So pharyngeal tonsil and tuber tonsils, both upper side, these upper superiorly, that are that opens, these both opens in a nasopharynx. Another, that is palatine palatine tonsil, that are in the paired form, that opens into the oropharynx. And lingual tonsils, that basically opens into the posterior side of the tongue. So these are basically that where they are open. Pharyngeal tonsil as well as tuber tonsil, both are open into a nasopharynx, and palatine tonsil, that are in paired form, that are open into the oropharynx, and the last one, that is a lingual pharynx, they both that is unpaired, that is the single, so that opens into the posterior side of the tongue. So that was all about the Waldeyer's ring, that has a 4 tonsils: pharyngeal tonsil, tuber tonsils, palatine tonsils, as well as lingual tonsils.